I just helped this player, and this player instantly transform their gameplay in CFP 26 by simply implementing the 5 secret tips I'm sharing with you in this video. I guarantee you your opponent in your next game would have never seen these tips before, and that you'll have the upper hand so long as you don't skip out on any of them. Let's jump right into it. The first thing I want to show you is actually a glitch run defense that's going to let you stop the run in the backfield every single time. Let me show you. So the first thing you need to do is pause the game, come into settings, and come under gameplay helpers. You're going to scroll until you find defensive heat seeker assist, and you're going to make sure that you have this set to at least 100%. Now, what you can do is actually come into any of these defensive formations here. I like the ones that actually have 3 defensive linemen the most. So for example, like blitz 0 here from 3-3 Cub, right? So you have 2 outside linebackers and you have 3 defensive linemen. All you're going to do is come right here and stand directly inside the butt of your defensive tackle. Now, like I said, this is going to be great against inside runs because what you're going to notice is when you're sending 5 like this, there's going to be a flame icon over the head of your user, which means the offensive line is going to let you come in free. If you think about it, they only have 5 linemen, and what's happening really is there's 6 guys, right? Because my D tackle and my user are standing in the exact same spot. So they just put a flame icon to let my user come in free, and now I can get in that backfield every single time and just dive tackle the ball carrier before he has the opportunity to speed boost away. So we go with it again right here, where again, all you're doing, taking this user defender right here, this is from Mike Blitz 0, right, through 3 Cub, right? You're going to come stand directly like this inside your D tackle. And it's very easy to do. No one really moves. And now you're just going to see how you're going to come in clean just like that. Now, right there, if you don't have Heat Seeker on, it's going to be a little wonky, right? So what you want to make sure to make it the most consistent is that you're probably standing over here on this side of him, right, just so that you can actually come in clean. Right there, I was over the left side, so I'm going to try it again now. I'm over on his right side, which is where they're running the ball, and so now I'm going to come in a lot cleaner and a lot easier, right? That time, they actually blocked me, and they let the D tackle come in clean. Now, that can happen from time to time, where it, like, switches who comes in clean, but it's like, for the most part, if your user comes in clean, that's just paradise. So we go with it again, stand in the same spot right here, and then you're just able to see that's where the Heat Seeker assist is so valuable, because you're not going to be able to make those dive tackles in the backfield without it. Like, it's just not going to work. Also, having a guy with high tackle, having like maybe tackle supreme or whatever that tackle ability is going to help you out here too. But essentially, you're just at this position. You see how no one blocks me, and so I'm able to just find the ball, and I see it, and then I'm pressing X on Xbox, square on PlayStation to dive tackle the ball carrier. But again, it's really important that, you know, you're really sending 5, because right here I mean you can send 4, right, and still be able to get it to work, but it's gonna be a whole lot better when you send 5, and then you're just able to. That's also why dive tackling is important. Right there, I go for conservative tackle and he breaks it. So you have to make sure that you're trying to cut out the legs of the ball carrier and not allowing him to speed boost away. But that's really a cool trick, secret trick to help you stop the run, especially inside runs in the backfield every time. Just make sure that you have Heat Seeker assist turned on and that you're dive tackling with X on Xbox or square on PlayStation. Alright, next I'm going to show you a secret trick to get instant sacks in the quarterback. This is honestly one of the most underutilized features that anyone's using this year, and you need to start taking it into your next game. Let me show you. Alright, so if we come here into nickel load mug, we're going to the example that I'll give you. You can actually do this from, again, any defense in the game. It's really effective, though, when you're pairing it with a custom stunt or a blitz, like an overload blitz. So we're going to have a custom stunt right here. Coming to load mug, we're going to call the left pirate 3-man custom stunt. And what we're going to do is we're going to shift our defensive line to the left, and we're going to what I call user locking or turbo engaging. Always pass commit your defense as well by pressing RB and then right stick up. And what you're going to see is you're standing over the center. And so you have the left pirate 3-man custom stunt. And what I want you to notice here and realize is you're going to have 3 guys on the left side of their offensive line. But the key problem, I guess, is that the center is going to slide over right here and make this a 3-on-3. So yes, you still have, you know, a stunt, right? It's cool. You're able to get pressure on the quarterback organically just by, you know, looping through and looping around. But really, you can make this a whole lot better with a simple trick by user locking. So there's 2 ways to user lock in this game. You're either going to press D-pad up, right trigger, and left stick down, right? Or you're going to press D-pad right, RB, right trigger, and left stick down. So obviously the second one is one more button press, which is why if you guys have seen some of the other defensive breakdowns or defensive gameplays, I always tell you guys, hey, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down. It's only 3, button presses, and it does the same exact thing. So you're going to come stand over the center. It's very important that you're over the center as close to him as possible and over his left shoulder, because the problem, if you stand like right here, like this is what some people would consider over the center. If you stand right here and try to do the same thing, there's a very high chance that the guard, like right there, where the guard slides over to block you, and now they're able to pick up the stunt a whole lot easier. Now, obviously, sheds are still a thing, right? And so we understand that, but we want like organic flying pressure, right? So what we're going to do is stand over the center's left shoulder instead, and we're going to again press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, pass commit our defense, and now we're going to get the attention of the center just like that, and that's what's going to allow for that instant flying unblocked pressure from our edge defender. We look at the instant replay. Why does this happen? Because this man is looping all the way through, right? And we create essentially a 3-on-2 advantage over here on this left side, right? So my user gets the attention of the center, boom, just like this, and then I am able to just create this 3-on-2 advantage. We have 3 defensive linemen, they have 2 offensive linemen, and we're able to get that quick pressure. But here's the key. You're getting back into coverage with your user, because yes, you're user locking, you're getting the attention of the center, but you're not user rushing, because this is only meant to be a 4-man custom stunt blitz, right? And so what you're going to do is you're going to spam the A button on Xbox or X on PlayStation to get off the block from the center as quickly as possible. When you're able to do that, now I'm back over the middle of the field, taking away their backside dig, taking away, their hitch route right here, or whatever they would happen to have on the field in that play. But again, once you get the attention of the center, you see how he's basically blocking nobody on this play. So he's not really involved in the play, but my user is still involved on the back end pass coverage. So you're really getting the best of both worlds here. And like I said, it's one of the most underutilized defensive features that not enough people have been using or talking about all year. But again, you can do this. I've talked about this from overload blitzes, from like double mug, dime. This is pretty good from. So there's a lot of different ways to be able to set this up. But as long as you're getting the attention of the center, the reason why you actually have to, you can't just stand over him is because it's only a 4-man rush, right? If you were sending 5, you might not have to actually touch the guy, but it's really not the end of the world, because he's just gonna block nobody. He's blocking air after you get off the block. But if they block their running back as well, it's really not going to change a whole lot. We're still going to perform the same mechanics, get the attention of the center. Now you see that's exactly what you want, though, for the running back to step up to block the guy that comes in free. And then we know that running backs aren't strong enough. They're just going to get pushed to the ground just like this for an easy sack. So again, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, lock your user in place, get the attention of the center just like this, and spam the A button or X on PlayStation and get off the block and get back into coverage. And that's going to make your blitzes, custom stunts, overload blitzes 10 times better. Alright, so if you found either of those first 2 secret tricks helpful here at College Football 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. Again, I break down College Football 26 tips and tricks for you guys every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want all 5 of these tips in written form to save on your phone during gameplay, go to the link down below in the pinned comment to join CFB University, where your first month is only going to be $1. It's really no-brainer. Goes through all my written breakdowns for the month of May and beyond. And again, the best part is you can save all of it to your phone and never have to go start the video, and always have access to the tips during gameplay. So what are you thinking? Join today, and let's jump right back into the video. Because the next secret that I want to break down is actually a way to neutralize blitzes and the custom stunt I just showed you when you're on offense. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so what we're going to see right here is this is going to be a kind of glitch here when you're on offense that's going to make custom stunts and blitzes worse, alright? So what we're going to do is this is just an experiment here, so what we're going to do is we're going to call a passing play like verticals. We're going to use the standard pass protection, obviously, which is base protection, alright? And we're going to call the Texas 4-man custom stunt the best custom stunt in the game still. And what you're just going to notice right here is a lot of the time when you use that base protection, protection, one of those guys is going to come flying in free through the middle, right? It depends on how good of a user defender you choose to or they choose to have, right, as far as getting the attention of the center. But if you just call like vertical standard pass play, you're not paying attention, right, there's a high chance that that happens right there, right, where you saw the first 2 plays, kind of better pass protection, but eventually like it's just going to just unfold in your face where they just loop through. And so if you call base protection with just standard plays every play throughout a game, you're kind of just inviting them to be able to custom stunt you all game and get that organic pressure. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to call any play action play, right? So I like PA counter go here from Trips tight end. Any play action play is going to do a great job of just neutralizing those stunts, right? And that's a shed, right? So sheds are still a possibility, but these guys aren't just going to be looping through and around. You see how, okay, so we call the same stunt. He's going to loop through, but he gets blocked very easily. And even on this side, this guy was supposed to stunt. He was supposed to loop all the way around and through like he was doing the last couple plays, but you see, like, look at the play art. Like, he's supposed to loop through and stunt, but he doesn't simply because you have this play action play called, right? So we go that again. We're going to call the Texas 4-man custom stunt. So he's supposed to loop through, but because you have a play action play called, he's not going to, right? So the route concept that you want to call behind it, that's kind of just up to you. But like there's no stunt, right? And now I can just roll out and find a dot wide. Like, no one looped. Like, literally, on both sides, both edge rushers, no one looped around. So this really is a great way that you're going to be able to neutralize these play action plays, or excuse me, these blitzes, by utilizing a play action play. You see how I cancel the play action like immediately, right? So like I'm not even really taking it doesn't matter. It's just you're calling the play action play. I find space in the pocket to move around, and then I'm able to take off and throw one down the field. Again, if we were to call just verticals right here, standard pass play, right, you're just going to see how now when they go to call the Texas 4-man custom stunt, right, this is going to be a whole lot easier for them to actually just loop through. Like, both of their guys loop through, and just terrible pass protection. But by simply making that one change, by just calling a play action play, this is going to be way better for you. So you can put, like I said, any route concept on the field, right? But really all you're trying to see is that your linemen, because you're in play action, they're going to do a whole lot better job of recognizing that and actually being able to give you time to throw if you want to throw the ball away or throw a pass down the field. But like I said, this is going to work against blitzes, especially if they don't pass commit their defense, right? When they start pass committing their defense on top of that, that can make it better. So always going to give you guys the counter to the counter. So what they could do is just pass commit, and now your play action is going to be nullified, right? So what we're going to see right here is we are just going to call the same play. They're going to call the same stunt, but this time they're pass committed, right? And so you see how, they did loop through, right? We did get better. We did actually get pretty good protection on that play. But when you actually see that you're calling play action, but they're still blitzing you, they're still stunting you, then they're pass committing, and that's when you just start running the ball on them. I'm just going to be on, that's when you just start pounding the rock, because it's like if they're going to pass commit their defense, their safeties are going to run slow. So you're going to see right here where this defense is pass committed, and so, 80 just got put to his name, but it's like you're going to be able to run the ball a whole lot easier and throw RPOs simply because their defense isn't designed to stop the run. So really, when you feel like you're getting pressured, right, you're just getting blitzed, stunted, start utilizing more play action plays, and you're going to see your offense become way better. Alright, so before I jump to those final 2 secret tips that you're absolutely not going to miss here in CFB 26, make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. Again, I'm the only one right now breaking down college football 26 tips and tricks for you guys every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But let's jump into those final 2 secret tricks, because that next one is actually a glitch route that's going to allow you to score one-play touchdowns over the top. Let me introduce you to the slot fade. Alright, so the slot fade is really fantastic for situations like this where they're running pressed man-to-man coverage, because what you're just going to notice is you're going to take your fastest, best slot receiver, and you're going to put them on a slot fade route, right? And what you're going to notice right here is this, if I called this play right now, this wouldn't work. This slot fade would just get guarded very, very easily. But instead, what you want to do to make this glitch, to make it better, is smart route it, alright? So you're going to smart route the slot fade, so now it's going to run like this. but you also want to custom stem it up twice. So now it's going to run something like this. And this really is what makes this so dangerous, because the further that this route runs up the field, the better separation it's able to create. Now, obviously, this is a longer developing play, so I would recommend that you have a real route concept behind this. Maybe something like this, a mesh concept, and then a deep post, right? Because what you're just going to notice is Ryan Williams is going to get pressed, and then I'm just going to lob that pass over the top, and you just see how as he continues running, he continues to create separation down the field away from that defender. Now, that's really just on the game kind of being bad. That was a green pass. They got overthrown, but it's like he gets pressed, right? So he gets thrown off his spot, and then he gets bumped. But you just notice how, I mean, it's kind of just step for step right here, but boom, puts his foot in the ground. As he starts bending this slot fade off towards the sideline, that's when he starts to create more and more separation and get behind this defender. So we're going to see right here is we are just going to call cover one hole. We're going to press our defense, and so we're going to just call our slot fade. And now, if they don't press you, it can still work. Like, you're going to see Ryan Williams, he's not pressed right here, but we're still going to call the slot fade, set it up the same way, because we still believe that he's going to be able to get behind this guy. Right, boom, and then if I have more time to throw, I'm able to lob that pass over the top and get behind him. So we set it up the same way right here. We see the bump, and now the defender actually gets bumped, and so now we can lob that pass all the way down the field. Also, that's just an insane drop. Like, he had that was a great throw by Ty Simpson. But the reason why, again, you want to make sure you're behind the 50, and you want to also make sure you're on the wide side of the field, because look at this safety. They're in cover one, but because you're lobbing this pass all the way to the corner right here, you're able to see how this safety, he's not able to make a play. He's just one step behind it. I mean, Ty Simpson kind of overthrew him a little bit. He had to dive for it, but really just butterfingers there. I mean, you're just seeing how he's absolutely frying this defender once he's getting, to his spot and doing a great job of getting behind him. So once again, this is a safety right here. Bray Hubbard matching him one-on-one with Ryan Williams. So we're going to put him on the slot fade. We're going to smart route it, then we're going to stem it up twice, and we're going to set up our route concept behind it. So what you're just going to see, again, you need time to throw. Boom. That time he got a great press animation, and so he's able to bend that route off and get behind him. Hopefully we can get some time here. But we're going to get time to throw right here, and so you're just going to notice how when you lob that pass over the top, he gets behind him, and I can't do this with Ty Simpson. This dude went 13th in the draft, and he can't hit a guy that's wide open over the top. But I'm not going to go through it anymore. You guys see it. We get the press bump animation. They're step for step, and then right here, boom, puts his foot in the ground, bends it off to the corner, you lob it over the top. You need plenty of room to throw this pass because it's in the air for a long time, but you're just able to see how if your quarterback hits an accurate throw, this is a one-play touchdown, and you're going to be able to get people out of press man very quickly and easily. But that last secret trick that's going to help you dominate in your next game is actually going to be able to stop RPOs, and there's actually a way to know an RPO is coming before they even snap the ball. Let me show you. Alright, so we're going to come into any offensive play menu right here, and what we're going to see is that on almost all of these RPOs, the halfback is the A button. Alright, so we look at these, we see one is wide, one is RB. All three of those are A. Like, most of these are going to be, he's going to be the A button, right? So we're going to go ahead and just call one of these right here, RPO read bubble. This is one of the best RPOs in the game. And so really, you're not going to know that he's the A button. The offense would know that, right? Because we were just looking at the offense's POV. But the way that you're going to figure that out is by pressing D-pad right twice, then you're going to press A, and then you're going to flick the right stick up. This is now, because you opened the man coverage menu, this now accurately gives you a great representation of what the buttons are for the offensive player. So you see if X, A, RB, Y, and B, or whatever those, equivalents would be on PlayStation. But the one that we're looking at is going to be Jam Miller, the halfback. He's going to be the A button on Xbox, the X button on PlayStation. And if that's the case, you now know an RPO is coming, like 95% certainty. The reason why is because, that's what it is. It's like most of the time he's going to be the A button. Now, if he's RB or if he's Y, it could still be an RPO, but you just don't know for like 100% certainty. So once you do the RPO check, again, D-pad right twice, then you press A, and then you flick the right stick up. Now you know he's A. Well, now you don't need to man him up. You now know an RPO is coming, so you need to be able to defend the RPO pass. So what we're going to do right here is I would recommend calling in cover 3 defense, manning up whoever you think is getting the ball, and then shading underneath. Because what you're going to notice right here is they're going to try to throw this pass out here to Ryan Williams, and we're just going to be right there to break that pass up, you know, for an incompletion, simply because our defender is making a beeline to the spot because he knows the RPO is coming. So you're able to see right here where he just catches it and he gets hit, and we get a knockout animation, right? And so the key is making sure you have two defenders that are focused on the RPO pass. You have your slot corner, Bray Hubbard, right here, who gets blocked, which is going to happen pretty often. But then you have this other man right here who's not going to get blocked, right? And he's just going to come in clean and easily be able to make that play. Another key element to this is making sure that you're pass committing your defense so that your defenders aren't looking into the backfield, you know, when they're calling the RPO, because you're going to stop the run with your user, which I'm going to show you here in a second. But to pass commit, RB, right stick up. So now your defense isn't going to be looking to defend the run aspects, right? That'll be your user's responsibility, and it's going to be the same thing where we're just able to come up and knock that pass away simply because we have basically the double bracket on it where we have it manned up, and then we also have a zone who's looking right at it for an easy breakup. So you know an RPO is coming because you do the RPO check, and then you set up the pass defense for it. But the reality is you could set up perfect RPO pass defense, right? Boom, shade underneath, pass commit, right? Everything I just showed you. But if you don't stop the run, right, they get up to the second, like this is just easy yards. It doesn't matter that you were able to stop the RPO pass if you're giving up the run. So really what you need to do is just focus with your user on stopping the run, right? And it's all about, I mean, every RPO is different, right? No two RPOs really are going to be the exact same, but for the most part, you're just going to try to loop around and meet this ball carrier just like I did right there at the point of attack. This connects back to the first tip I showed you in this video with heat seeker assist, because you want to make sure that you're dive tackling the ball carrier in the backfield before he has the opportunity to speed boost away, right? So you're going to see right here where I have two controllers, but if I didn't, I would have probably dive tackled this guy right here to make the tackle earlier and more securely, but you're still able to see how, boom, we take away the RPO pass aspect right here to Ryan Williams, and then we're able to loop around and stop the run with our user in the backfield, because you saw in the last play when I put my controller down, wasn't focused on stopping the run. It was a huge gain, but now I know the gap that I need to run through. I follow it, I pick it, and I'm able to bring that guy down in the backfield. So again, a quick recap: D-pad right twice, then press A, then press right stick up. You're going to see all the buttons of their, you know, offensive players. You're going to then choose to man up whoever you think getting the ball on the RPO pass, and then you're going to shade underneath pass commit, and then you're just standing 4 yards over the guard on the halfback side, looping around to meet the ball carrier in the backfield for an easy tackle. So that's how you not only know an RPO is coming here in CFP 26, but you're also going to be able to stop it in the backfield every time. Alright, so if you found any of those 5 secret tricks helpful here in CFP 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down college football 26 tips and tricks to help you guys get better every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want all 5 of those tips in written form to save on your phone during gameplay, go to the link down below in the pinned comments. Join CFP University, where again, your first month is only going to be $1. It's really a no-brainer, and it's going to absolutely transform the way you're able to understand this game and win more games here in CFP 26. But if you want to see a complete guide to my defense here in CFP 26, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.